Okay, so I think it's 6 o'clock. So we will kick off. You're all really welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for our lockdown yoga coming to you from Kilpetter. Great to have you here. So what we're going to do today is a very relaxed class, and please just take your time, listen to your body, just do what's comfortable for you, and remember, you can take yourself almost to the edge, but do not push your body more than it wants to. Listen to your body all the way through. So let's just start off by lying down. And you can lie down with your knees bent and your feet on the floor if you want, or out flat, whatever way is comfortable for you. And let's just begin to come into the moment. Just leaving aside everything that's going on in the world. Put it to one side. For the next hour, this is just about spending time connecting your mind with your body through your breath. So let's just begin to tune into our senses, tuning into our sense of hearing, just becoming aware of the noises around us. Not identifying them, just allow them to drift through you. And focusing on our sense of smell, becoming aware of the smells around you, the smells in the room. Just spend a little time noticing them. And moving that attention to that screen in front of you at the back of your eyelids. Just noticing what it presents to you, the colors, movement, shapes. Just stay with it. And then beginning to notice your connection points with the earth. Feeling it hold you. Noticing the temperature of your skin. The texture of your clothes. And then moving that attention to your breath as you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And just allow your hands to come onto your belly, just your fingertips touching, and notice how when you inhale, your fingers come away from each other, and as you exhale, they draw back to each other. And let's just spend a little more time here, 5 more breaths, in through the nose, into the belly, and out through the nose. And keeping that attention on your breath throughout the practice. If you notice your attention drifting, that's fine. Just notice it and bring it back to your breath. And on your next inhale, bringing your hands down by your sides. And your next inhale, let's just raise the arms up over the head, all the way to the back. And then bringing them down by your sides. And again, raising the arms all the way behind you to the floor. And bringing them back down by your side. And one more time, raising the arms back. And bringing them back down by your side. And then bending the knees, hug them into your chest. And just begin to move here on your back. Listening to what your body is telling you. So you might want to rock gently from side to side, or from back to front, or in a gentle circle. Just listen to what your body is saying to you. And then coming to stillness, let's just begin to move the feet. So just circling the feet. Nice big circles with the toes. And let's bring it in the other direction. And then coming to stillness, allow the feet to come down onto the floor. And we're going to raise the right leg and put the right foot over the left leg. Just flexing the foot. And think about the knee of your right knee pushing away from your body a little bit. Just beginning to open the hips out. That's it, remembering to breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And if you feel a little bit of tightness, a little bit of tension anywhere in your body, think about directing your breath into that area. And bringing it over to the other side. Let's bring the left foot over the right leg, pushing that left knee away from the body, keeping the left foot flexed. And breathing into this. And relaxing, bringing both feet onto the floor, bending those knees up and hugging them into the chest again. And from here, you can either grab the backs of your thighs, or if it's comfortable for you, you can put your arms through the center of your legs, bringing your knees apart, and hold on to the sides of your feet. So we're in a happy baby pose. And again, just beginning to move the feet and the legs in whatever way feels right for you. And coming to stillness. So we're going to come up to sitting now. You have a choice. You can either roll over onto the side and come up to sitting, or if you want a little bit more, you can just cross the feet and begin to rock and come all the way up to sitting. I'm going to sit on a block You can use some books if you have any handy, or just sit on the floor, but it can just help to open out the hips a little bit more. And as we sit here, think about sitting with your equal weight on both seat bones, sitting up tall. And as we inhale, just finding a little bit of length and extra space in the spine. As we exhale, relaxing into that space. And again, inhaling, finding space, exhaling, relaxing into that space. And taking the left hand, just place it at the side of your leg, and with your right hand, we're just going to bring it up over the body, having a nice stretch here into the rib cage. So feeling this side of the ribs really begin to open up and stretch, keeping the chest bright. Taking 2 more breaths here. And bringing it over to the other side. Again, really beginning to breathe into that open part of your rib cage, finding that nice stretch. As you inhale, finding length in the spine. As you exhale, just going a little bit deeper in the bend. And coming up tall. Let's take the right hand and put it on to the left leg, and we're going to take a twist. So what we want to twist here is the chest rather than the head. So it's always really tempting to allow the head to go and you think you're turning really far, but think about keeping your chest in line, or your chin at least in line with your collarbone. So as you turn, it's your chest that's turning towards the wall. And again here, using your breath as you inhale, finding extra length in the spine, and as you exhale, going a little bit deeper in that twist. Good, really feeling into this. And coming back to the center, let's take it to the other side. So left leg onto your right, left hand onto your right leg, and taking a nice twist. So again, as you inhale, finding length in the spine. As you exhale, going a little bit deeper. And coming back to center. Let's just take both hands and put them behind us and open out the chest. And if it's comfortable for you, you can allow the head to come back, looking up to the ceiling. And coming up tall, let's take it forward, so bringing the hands in front of us. Let's just begin to come down, bringing the chest down towards the floor. And walking back up again. Let's just flow through those movements now, just bringing a little bit of warmth in. So we're going to bring that right hand over and then switch it to the left hand and switch it back to the right and to the left. And let's take that 3 more times on each side. Remembering to use the breath to help you get a little bit deeper. Good. And coming to stillness, let's begin to move in that twist. So bringing it to one side and then coming through and bringing it to the other. And swinging over and back. And over and back, and one more time, over and back. Good. And from here, we're just going to come on to all fours. So Making yourself comfortable here, open out the fingers nice and wide, almost clawing into the floor or a mat if you have one. And when you look at your legs behind you, so you want to have your knee coming straight down from your hip and your legs just hip distance apart. So hip distance, your hips, I know we might think, well, I think my hips are very big, but actually our hips are not that big. So hip distance is only just a little bit wider than a fist, maybe a fist and a half. And as you look through your legs, you shouldn't be able to see your feet so that they're directly behind you. Hands are coming straight down from the shoulders to the wrists, fingers nice and wide, and have a little micro bend in your elbows. That's it. If your wrists get tired during this, or indeed if you get tired at any point during the exercise, just push back into a child's pose, which can be like this, or you may find it more comfortable to spread out the legs and put one fist on top of the other. So at any point, if you feel you need a rest, that's the perfect position to be in. So opening your hands out nice and wide. Let's do a couple of cat-cows. So we're going to dip our belly, tilt our pelvis and open up our chest, just looking straight in front of us. And then curling from the tailbone all the way through the spine to the crown of the head. And again, dropping the belly, tilting the pelvis, open the chest, looking forward, and curling from the tailbone all the way through. Let's take 3 more of these, really feeling that spine beginning to move. And it's really nice to do this with your eyes closed and start to really get to know your vertebrae. Really nice. And coming to stillness, we're going to meet in tabletop, as we call it, neutral spine. And from here, we're just going to begin to move a little bit. So just taking your hips in circles, you can bring your shoulders into it if you want. Close your eyes and just get into this. So really listen to your body and what is comfortable for it. And just move in a way that feels right for you right now. Just enjoying the movement, starting to pay attention to every fiber in your body, really getting to know it. And coming back to stillness. Let's take the left hand and raise it up. You can follow it with your gaze if that works for you. And we're going to thread it through the arm. So you're going to bring it all the way through. And if you can come right down onto your shoulder, do. And reaching all the way up again. And threading it through. And let's take that 3 more times, reaching all the way up and threading through. And twice more. And one last time. Super. Let's take that over to the other side. So remembering to keep those fingers out, spread out nice and wide. Just putting a little pressure on your fingertips and stretching up with that right hand and threading it through. And again, bringing it up and through, and 3 more times. Up and through, twice more. And the final time, threading it up and bringing it through. Good, and coming back to neutral spine. Let's curl those toes. You know what's coming. And we're going to push the hips right back to the heels and begin to lift up. So lifting the knees up, we're coming up into our first dog. You're pushing your hips back. Keep those knees bent to start with because this is quite a pull on the hamstrings. So keep them bent and you can begin to just pedal out your feet. So just beginning to bring a bit of movement. We really want to get a nice length in the spine here. Keeping those hips back. And you can begin to straighten those legs. Don't worry if your heels won't touch the ground, that's no problem. You can be up on your toes. If you're finding it very difficult, you can spread the legs out nice and wide so you can get a nice long stretch in the spine. And from here, we're going to walk forward to meet our hands and come all the way up to standing. So standing at the top of the mat, I want you to think about having your feet hip distance apart, pushing into the ground with your big toe. It will just help you to lift the arches of your feet up, keeping your quads nice and engaged, your core engaged. Open out the chest. And let's just open the palms of the hands out. So we're standing nice and tall in quite an engaged way. So it's a strong pose, this. And let's take 3 breaths here. And as we're breathing, thinking about lengthening through that spine, filling your body with your breath, finding that space. And as you exhale, just relaxing into that extra space you've created. And from here, we're just going to begin to relax the arms and take a little swing. Such a lovely movement, this. People always love doing this. So you're just allowing those arms to take you. That's it. Oh, I'm hitting myself as I'm doing it. And slowing down, coming to stillness, and stop. And from here, we're going to begin to just roll down towards the ground, so like a rag doll. Just beginning to allow gravity to take us down. And don't worry where you stop, just go down as far as is comfortable for you. Feel free to bend your knees if you want to. Come down into a comfortable position. And when you get here, you can grab each elbow and just begin to rock gently back and forth. And coming to stillness, open out the arms, bending the knees. Let's begin to roll up really slowly, coming all the way to the top. And let's bring the arms into it, reaching the arms up tall again as you inhale, finding that extra length and space in the spine. And let's roll it all back down again to the floor. Good. Lovely. And bending those knees. Let's come slowly all the way up, allowing the arms to come up in the air. And final time, taking a roll all the way down. Good. And bending those knees, let's come up to straight. And we're going to take a couple of sun salutes. We'll go slowly. So let's raise the arms up. So again, you've got your feet hip distance apart, reaching up tall, and we're going to come into a forward fold. So bend the knees as much as you need to in this. Coming down. Good. And then we're going to halfway lift. So in your halfway lift,
You want your spine nice and straight. You're at a right angle here. Keeping the chin tucked in so you're looking straight down onto the floor. And forward fold again. Putting both hands on the ground, we're going to step our right leg back. So step it back as far as it can go. That's it. And then drop the knee down onto the floor and open out the top of the foot. Good. And with your front foot, have a look down and see your knee should be directly over your ankle in a nice straight line. So adjust it if it isn't there. And then we're going to rise up. You'll feel this a little bit in your quad of that back leg. And let's raise the arms straight up. And if you want a little bit more, a little bit of a back bend, you can raise the gaze up to the ceiling. And then bringing the hands down to either side of the foot, curling the back toe, we're going to come back into a plank. And we'll take a round of breath here. Have a little micro bend in the elbows. Good. And then drop the knees down. Open out the feet and bring the chest down onto the floor and roll through into a baby back bend. And then from here, we're going to push back into our downward dog. And lifting that right leg up, looking between the hands. So ideally, you're going to try and step that right foot forward. If it won't go there, that's no problem. Lots of people have difficulty with that. Just help it along. And drop the back knee. And raising the arms up, lifting the gaze. Hands down either side of the foot. Step that back foot forward and come all the way up. Good, let's take that to the other side. So we're going to forward fold and halfway lift. Remembering having that nice straight spine. And forward fold. This time we're going to step our left leg back. So stepping the left leg right back. That's it. Again, just checking that alignment. That your knee is over your ankle. And raising the arms up. Good. And hands down either side of the foot. Stepping back into your plank. Having that micro bend in the elbow. Fingers out nice and wide. Dropping the knees to the floor. Open out the feet, chest down, and roll through into a cobra. So in your cobra, you want to be able to stay up without your hands holding you up. So it's a nice little back bend. Push back up into your tabletop. Adjust your position if you need to for your downward dog. Curl those toes. And push all the way up into your dog. Good. And looking between your hands, raise that left leg up. And step it forward. Good. Help it forward if it needs it. Dropping that back knee, open out the foot. And rising all the way up. Hands down either side of the foot. Stepping up and coming all the way up. And let's take that 2 more times, once on each side. So a forward fold and halfway lift. And forward fold, stepping that right leg back as far as it can go, dropping the knee, nice stretch in the quads, and raising the arms up, lifting the gaze. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping back into your plank. And coming down onto your knees, feet, chest, and roll through into a cobra. Coming up and pushing into your downward dog. Getting that nice length in the spine. Lifting the right leg up. Looking between the hands and stepping forward. Drop the back knee. Coming all the way up. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping that back foot forward. Let's come up tall. Good, final one, forward fold. And halfway lift. And forward fold, step that left leg back. And reaching up. Hands down either side of the foot, step back into your plank. Good, let's take a round of breath here. And bringing the knees down, feet, and the chest, and rolling through into your cobra. Keeping those elbows in. Pushing up into your tabletop, curling the toes and up into your downward dog. Lifting up the left leg and stepping it through. Whoops, as my sound falls off. And raising the arms up. Bring the hands down either side of the foot and step that back foot up to meet the front, raising the arms up. Good. And from here, just bringing the hands onto the hips, keeping those feet hip distance apart. We're going to step this right leg back, but we want it to be able to have the heel on the ground. So just step it back as far as it's comfortable to have the back heel on the ground, and we want to bend this front knee. So your legs are hip distance apart, your feet hip distance apart, so that your hips can be nice and square. So your hips will not particularly want to be square. Your right hip is probably gone a little bit back. So you want to try and bring that right hip forward, keeping this front knee over the ankle. And just watch it, it'll want to fall in the knee, so we want to keep the knee out. As you look down, you should be able to see your toes. You should maybe have your knee covering your last two toes. And that's it. And from here, with your hips nice and square, we're going to raise the arms up and raise the gaze up. Good. Holding it here. One more breath. Remembering to breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And then let's open the arms out either side, keeping those shoulders relaxed. Good. Keeping equal weight in both feet. So you might be beginning to feel that in the back leg, in the calf of the back leg or the hamstring. That's good. You might be feeling it in the quad of the front leg. It's all good, I promise you. And from here, we're going to begin to lean forward. So we're going to bring the chest forward, bending at the hips. So what tends to happen to some people, they start to bend from the shoulders. So we want to bend from the hips. So it's your chest is leading here, keeping those arms out. And we're going to hover. So we've got a nice straight spine. And we're hovering a little bit here. Oh yes, feel the burn. It's lovely, isn't it? Good. Lovely. And let's bring the hands down either side of the foot. That's it. Good. Bringing the arms back up. Let's clasp them behind our back. And let's raise the torso up, keeping those arms back. Good. 2 more breaths here. Lovely, and letting that go. Let's just bring the hands onto the hips and step that right foot forward. And yes, we have to do it on the other side now. So stepping that left foot back again, remembering it's on a railway track, so it's coming straight back. So your feet are hip distance apart so that your hips can be nice and square. Let's square them up, keeping that front leg knee over ankle. Keeping the knee out, both feet facing more or less towards the front, equal weight on both feet. Good, and then let's raise the arms up, lifting the gaze to get a little back bend. If that's a bit too much for you, that's fine. Don't lift the gaze, keep it straight. Good, one more breath. And let's bring the arms out to the side, keeping equal weight in both feet, pushing into the floor with the big toe will just help you keep those arches up, relaxing the shoulders. I have to say that because I can see my shoulders getting all tense here. That's it, breathing into it. If you're feeling any tension, think about directing your breath into that. If your calf is a little tight with this, breathe into the calf. And let's reach forward with the chest. Good, we're going to come into a nice hover like an airplane. Breathing here. Good, and if you feel anything tense, breathe into it. And allowing the hands to come to the floor. Take a little breather. And bring both hands behind you, clasping them behind you. Let's raise the upper body up, keeping those arms back. Lovely. And bringing the hands onto the hips, step back foot forward. Let's raise those arms up tall. And forward fold. And halfway lift. And forward fold. Let's step straight back into a plank. Good. Taking a round of breath here. And knees to the floor. Feet, chest, and roll through into a baby cobra. Keeping those elbows back. Pushing up. Adjusting yourself if you need to as we come into our dog. And then just walking the feet forward to meet the hands, bend the knees, let's come all the way up. Good. Bringing the hands onto the hips. We're going to come lengthways and open those feet out nice and wide. So you want your feet turning slightly inward. And we're going to begin to reach forward with the chest. So we're bending again from the hips. So you want to feel this crease here begin to close as you bend forward from the hips. Coming all the way down. You can bring your hands onto the floor. Good. Feel free to bend your knees if you need to. And we're going to take a little moment here. 2 more breaths. And bending the knees, let's come all the way up. Turning your right foot towards the front. Bending that right knee. Your left foot, you want to turn a little bit towards the front. So this time we've got both heels in a straight line with each other. And your hips are nice and open. So let's open out the arms into our warrior 2. And you can turn your gaze over to look out over that front hand. Good. Taking 1 more breath here. And let's bend this right hand, bring it onto the right leg and raise the arm up so we've got a nice long stretch all the way up the side. Again, if you feel any tension anywhere, just breathing into that. Helping to ease it out. Feeling that lovely stretch. And as we bring that back, the top arm down, let's raise the body up. And let's just turn our feet around so we're facing in the other direction. Bending that front knee. bringing both arms out into your warrior two, looking out over the front. Good. So just watch, try and make sure your shoulders are over your hips. So sometimes in this warrior two, we can end up being a little bit, bringing the torso a little bit forward. We want to keep it level in the center of the body, keeping those shoulders relaxed. One more breath here. And let's bring the left hand down onto the left leg, raising that right arm up over the ear, keeping the chest nice and open so you're looking straight out in front of you. Good. And bringing that back arm down, coming up tall. Let's turn the feet together and heel toe them in. And coming to the top of the mat, here on a mat. Let's raise the arms up and forward fold. And halfway lift, keeping that nice straight spine. And forward fold, stepping that left leg all the way back, dropping the knee, open out the foot. Reaching up, finding that space in the spine as we reach up. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping back into our plank. And from here, bending those knees down, feet, bringing the chest down onto the floor, rolling through into a cobra. Pushing back, up and up into your dog. Good. Reaching up with that right leg, looking between the hands and stepping it through. Or helping it. If you need to, drop that back knee, open out the foot, and let's come all the way up. Hands down, either side of the foot, stepping the back foot forward, rising up. Once more on the other side, forward fold, and halfway lift. And forward fold, this time left leg steps back, dropping the knee, and rising all the way up, lifting the gaze. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping back into your plank, taking a round of breath here, and bending the knees, feet, chest, rolling through into your cobra, and pushing back up, adjusting yourself, pushing up into your dog, having that nice long spine, hips back, lifting that left leg up and stepping it through. Just drop that right leg, open out the foot, and come all the way up. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping the right foot forward. Let's come up tall. And from here, bringing the hands down, and let's begin like we did earlier to roll down. Allow gravity to take us, bending the knees as we go down. Let's start to bring ourselves all the way down, pushing back into a child's pose with your forehead on the ground. Take a little rest here. Two more breaths. And from here, we're just going to lie out onto our belly. Bringing your hands either side of your chest, elbows in, forehead on the ground. And as we inhale, we're going to lift up into a cobra. So just lifting the chest up and bringing it back down. And once again, as you inhale, lifting up, engaging that core and bringing it down. Keeping very light on these hands once more, inhaling all the way up And bringing it down. Good. And pushing back up. Let's push those hips back and stretch the arms out nice and long, finding that length in the spine. Letting it out. And coming up into a seat. And we're going to just swing around and come down onto our back. And from here, with the knees bent, we're going to do a little bit of a bridge. So really slowly lifting your hips up towards the ceiling, reaching up with those hips. Good, let's hold this here for 2 breaths. And slowly coming all the way down and hugging the knees into the chest. And letting those feet come onto the floor again, once again, lifting up the hips up towards the ceiling. Breathing into this. Two more breaths here. And allowing the spine to slowly come down to meet the earth. And then hugging the knees into the chest once more. And allowing those feet to come onto the floor. We're going to just let the knees flop over to the left, bringing both of your arms out nice and wide and turning your gaze to the right. And bringing your knees back through center, allowing them to come over to the right hand side. Turning that gaze over to the left. Closing the eyes. Taking 3 more breaths here. And coming back through center, bringing those arms down by your sides. If it's comfortable for you, have your palms facing up to the ceiling. This is our blankie time, so if you want a blankie, go and grab one now. Lying out nice and straight. Of course, the official name is not blankie time, it's Shavasana. So let's lie out nice and straight. And just allowing the body to absorb all of the work that it's done. Allowing it to embed in muscle memory. And just to begin to really let go. Letting go your fingers,
the palms of your hands, the backs of your hands, your wrists, letting go your forearms, elbows, upper arms, the whole of your arms, just letting it go. Your chest, shoulder blades, back of your rib cage, front of your rib cage, belly, letting go the front of your thighs, backs of your thighs, your kneecaps, backs of the knees, shins, calves, ankles, heels, letting go the tops of your feet, the soles of your feet, your toes, the whole of your legs. Just let it go. Letting go the back of your head, the crown of your head, forehead, eyebrows, forehead, cheeks, jaws, chin, lips, tongue. Just let it all go. And just paying attention to your breath as you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And just spend time here connecting with your breath, connecting with your inner self, that part of you that's always with you. And take yourself to your favorite place and enjoy a few moments here, connected with your breath.
Satan, Satan, Jin Hare Jananak Tin Balchasi. Tere Bhakta, Bandar Chibre Dan Dantam. Tere Bhakta, Salam to Cherneka Nekanantam. Tere Nek, Karar Pujri, the Tap Jab Dantam. Tere Nek, Paribox and Ritzas Chikar Kirekat Karam Garantam.
A little moment here of gratitude to our bodies, to ourselves for taking time to do this, to all of us for practicing together. A special thought of gratitude to all our healthcare workers who are doing so much at the moment to keep us safe, and for everything we have to be grateful for today. And in your own time, make your way back up to sitting by rolling over onto your side and coming up to sit. Thank you very much for your time today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave comments, well, only nice comments please, about anything that you'd like to do in the future, and well, do the same again on Wednesday. I hope you'll join me there. Namaste. Tere Bhakta, Salam to Cherneka Nekanantam. Tere Nek, Karar Pujri, the Tap Jab Dantam.